Hi, I'm Mariah. I run Mystic Deviation at Tumblr.com and Tarot Discussions on Blogspot.com. I'm here for another one of my reviews of one of my tarot decks. This review is going to be a 3-in-1, just because I own different versions of the Rider-Waite-Smith deck. I'm going to kind of do them all in one review, so this is going to be a review of the Universal Rider-Waite-Smith deck, the Radiant Rider-Waite-Smith deck, and the original Rider-Waite-Smith deck. There are some minor differences, not a whole lot, just mainly in the presentation of the cards and the colors you're going to see. So we're just going to kind of talk about that, the packaging and so forth. Links will be below to all of my other tarot card reviews. If you've watched any of the other ones before, you know that I love tarot reading. If any of you are interested in any of my readings, there will be links below. If you're watching this via YouTube, there will be a link to my Blogspot where you can find out all of this information. But with further ado, I'm going to go ahead and start talking about the decks. So this is the first deck that I ever purchased. This is the box for the original Rider-Waite-Smith deck. I still use this deck only for myself. I very rarely use this deck for other people unless I know them in person. This deck rarely gets used for anyone else. I love this deck. This is my favorite deck, again, probably because it was one of my first ones. It's definitely one of the better decks, I believe, that are out there. If you're a beginning tarot reader and you're kind of looking into tarot and you're not sure what deck to get, I definitely recommend the Rider-Waite-Smith deck. There are so many resources available to you if you plan to ever be a professional tarot reader. And excuse me. Or if you're just doing this for fun and entertainment purposes. The Rider-Waite-Smith deck is the universal deck that most tarot readers will use. You're going to find lots and lots of information online and included with these decks. Inside the deck box, it just has a place for the deck and a place for the booklet that came with it. As I've said before in kind of my other reviews, this came in a sturdier box. I love these boxes. They last longer. They are more efficient. They are stronger than some of the other boxes. I'm going to show you what happened to like kind of one of the other decks. And this is actually, I've had this significantly longer than the other deck box. So definitely approve of these sturdier boxes. They work very, very well. With this also came a small spread for the Celtic cross spread. I used it when I first got the deck, but beyond that, I never really used that spread. Really, it's not one that I enjoy. This is the booklet that came with my original Rider-Waite-Smith deck. As you can tell, it matches the box. In addition to that deck, the other decks that I got, the other Rider-Waite-Smith decks, the Universal one did not come with one of these pamphlets, but the Radiant Rider-Waite-Smith deck did come with this booklet. These are the exact same thing, just in different forms. This one is obviously a little sturdier and may contain a little bit more information, but the concepts and the descriptions of the tarot cards are exactly word for word the same. I don't personally use this book, and this is because I use Biddy Tarot. I'm going to link everything below. I use Biddy Tarot and LearnTarot.com for the meanings of these decks. For these cards, I don't like this book. I think it's stiff. I really didn't enjoy it. Granted, it was written in 1910 when the deck was first released. It isn't something that I believe is easy to learn. Tarot has came such a far way. There are plenty of internet resources. This book is handy, yes, but not as efficient as I believe the internet and some of my other books that I will actually do video reviews for too. It is just significantly harder to understand. If you're going to purchase the deck though, don't be discouraged by this little booklet. There's so many resources online for this type of tarot deck. One of the first things that I really talk about in my reviews is the packaging. One of the reasons the packaging is so important, because this is where you're going to store your tarot deck. As you can tell, the tarot deck that I purchased, the Universal Rider-Waite-Smith Tarot, came in this very novelty-like box. It is busted, and it doesn't work very well to hold the cards. I don't store my cards in this deck box anymore because it was pretty much bent when I got it. I ordered it off of Amazon. It is not that great of a deck box. I really hate these little boxes, and I really hate this one especially. It's very inefficient, doesn't work to hold the deck, and broke within months. But I do really like this bearded guy on it. I wish that the tarot deck back actually looked like this opposed to what it does. Finally, the other box that I got is very similar to that one. It's a little sturdier than the other one, granted, but this is just the box for the Radiant-Waite Tarot. Very traditional, standard box. So I'm kind of going to just show you the cards. These cards are really easily found online. I'm going to link below to like thousands of websites that you can go to and find images for these. This is the original Rider-Waite-Smith. This is the full, obviously. You can, in comparison, I'm going to show you in a second, in comparison to the Universal and even the Radiant, it is very more monotone. It is definitely a kind of older look. This is what the deck back looks like, just a different color of the box background. But this deck right here is the Universal Rider-Waite-Smith deck. It is, I think, just blown up images of the Radiant Rider-Waite deck. That's what it looks like to me. So as you may not be able to tell, but the image is less clear on the Universal than it is on the traditional Rider-Waite-Smith, and even in comparison to the Radiant, which this is the Radiant Rider-Waite-Smith, you can definitely tell that the Universal was blown up. So I don't really like this deck as much. The Universal, to me, isn't any better than the original or even the Radiant. If you're going to purchase one, I definitely recommend the Radiant. I really like the colors in it much more than the original, but nevertheless, either option is definitely a good one. This is what the tarot back looks like of my copy of the Universal Rider-Waite-Smith deck. Just very traditional, or not just very, plain. It says tarot over and over and over. Even in the little wheel, it says tarot. Again, this was not my favorite deck. I think all of the cards kind of look blown up, and just quality is not a factor in the Universal Rider-Waite-Smith deck. This is the Radiant Rider-Waite-Smith deck. I love this deck. This is one of the first decks I ever saw photographs of, and it is the most beautiful deck in the entire world. I finally own a copy of it. It is what Biddy Tarot, if you ever go to biddytarot.com, this is the deck they use for all their images. I love it. I think that it's beautiful. It is crisp. It is bright. It's colorful. And in comparison to the original Rider-Waite-Smith, I do think it brings a little bit of livelihood to the deck. Granted, this is still, the original Rider-Waite-Smith deck is still my favorite. My only major complaint is that these are really hard to shuffle if you do it via the bridge. They are a bit thicker in size than the tradition or the Radiant Rider-Waite-Smith deck. As you can tell, these are all the cards in both decks. This is easier to shuffle, bridge style, and even the Universal is as well. They are, because they are made on a glossier, thinner cardstock than these, but that is actually what I really love about the original Rider-Waite-Smith deck, is that it is kind of thick and on a better quality cardstock. That is really important to me. I know that some of the major complaints amongst tarot card decks is if the cards are flimsy, over time they can become really worn out and not so great to use. But overall, I really like the Rider-Waite-Smith deck. It is one of the best decks to read on. It is so beautiful. If you get the original, or if you get the Radiant, or even if you get the Universal, you are going to love it, I am sure. If you definitely struggle with more of the abstract, like the Shadowscapes deck, or some of the other tarot decks that you may find, these are going to definitely give you all of the symbolism you need straightforward. There's so many websites that you can use to learn them from. Obviously, this is my favorite deck amongst my decks. It is so beautiful, and I would recommend to everyone to go do that. But that's all I kind of have to say. Those are the Radiant Rider-Waite-Smith, the original, and the Universal. I hope that you guys are liking these videos. If you are, please take a moment and just comment down below what you think of these decks, and what your favorite deck is. And maybe if I have it, I will review it, or, you guys can comment and talk about the decks and what you think of my reviews. If you're not already, be sure to follow me on Tumblr and on Blogspot. That is all I have. So yeah, bye. See you guys.